I'm sorry, Jennifer. But good habits can start with literally getting up and making your bed. It doesn't matter what your day throws at you. It doesn't matter the tantrum that your kid's throwing in the back seat. It doesn't matter who cut you off. When you come home after the day that you just had and you have a freshly made bed, it just kind of gives you that good feeling. You know what I mean? So if that's like the first step to creating better habits for yourself, then that is what that is. And that's pretty much what he's talking about in this book, is just getting out of your comfort zone and showing up for your dang self and doing the dang thing. The inspiration for this particular training was chapter 5, and is don't be afraid of the circus. Now, I had to revise my notes because y'all know me. Like I was going to read some of the book and then go into some notes and read some of the book, but I ain't going to do all that to you. So let me start off with telling you what their circus is and what that means. Back in the day, and I don't know if they still do this, but SEAL training went like, and if you ever watch a G.I. Jane, you kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit. They break you off into teams. Sometimes it's a 2-man team, sometimes it's a 5-man team, whatever it is. I just now got that Lavelle August Rush promo. Okay. All right. Gotta love delays in emails. But they broke you off into teams, and if any one member of the team failed at the day's events during the training, the instructors put the whole team on the list called the circus. Like, you just made the list, okay? They were told that they wouldn't survive. They were told that they should just quit because they weren't strong enough to be SEALs. And I know that we have told that to ourselves about being moms, about being in this business, about all of the things, right? Like, it's not for me. I'm not worth it. I'm not going to make it. It's not going to be something I can do. We all convince ourselves of something, or we let somebody else convince us of that. So it would kind of be like, for example, if Harriet and I was to do like a 3-legged race or something and I jacked it up and I fell, we would both be in the circus. And what the circus is, added 2 extra hours of calisthenics, flutter kicks in the ocean. If y'all have ever done flutter kicks, y'all know that like you want to cut your legs off when you're done with them. So doing them in the ocean while having sand kicked in your face and having instructors scream at you, while you get to watch all the other teams who did complete the day's events go eat, shower, and sleep while you're doing 2 more hours of this. So they were told that they wouldn't survive it and all of the things, and that they weren't strong enough. Now, the circus was a 2-hour-long training with all of that, while having, sand kicked in their faces, push-ups, etc. And this was after a whole day of all of this already. And meanwhile, they got to watch other teams go to their bunks, get showers, get chow. And the worst part of all of it wasn't even doing it. It was knowing that the next day they would be completely exhausted and they would fail the next day's events and have to do the circus all over again and again and again until it felt like a never-ending cycle of failure. Y'all catching what I'm throwing out? Yeah. Meanwhile, they get to watch other teams eat and shower and sleep. And that kind of sounds like when we are in the trenches doing all the things while watching other leaders earn bonuses, earn badges on their selfies, earn trips, earn ranks, earn their cars paid for, soon to be earning their mortgages paid for. Hi, hello. I almost want to buy a house now. But while we're in the trenches, we're in those extra 2 hours, and they get to go have chow and sleep and take a shower and all of the things. It can start to feel like we're letting our teams down. And I'm going to pause right there because this is a team. We are individually building our own businesses, but we are a team. And one thing I didn't put in these notes that I left in my other ones, but this is the foundation for what we are building individually. Like, this is what I want my future teams to represent. Sending each other happy mail, sending each other encouragement, calling each other out when we need it, being a shoulder, because something's going on in your life. Like, that's not saying we have to be BFFs, not saying we should all live on the same street. That would totally be awesome and a lot easier, but hey, save on mailing costs. But yeah, right, Harriet? Yeah, you feel me. But we are the core foundation for our own future teams. Anyone we enroll with, anyone who joins with us individually, this team right here is the foundation for that. So we need to make this strong and keep encouraging each other and stuff like that. So when we're not like and I think I talked to Amber about this a while back, but like, I had asked her one time, I was like, if I was to grab a promoter pack, I think it was during one of those bonuses or something, I was like, would that help you out at all? Like, would you get something? Because I want to help my girl out. You know what I mean? And she was like, well, don't get it to help me out. I'm like, but I want to. So it's just like, so that's like what we do here. And when we're not what feels like pulling our own weight for the team, when we're not enrolling, when we're not selling, when we're not getting samples out, that's usually more for us. But like, when we're not, you know what I mean? Like, when everything's dry, when we're in our dry season, words are hard right now. It can feel like we're letting our teams down. It can feel like we're letting our husbands or wives down. Like, hey, babe, I'm going to invest in this and I'm going to try to build something from my bedroom. And on Monday nights, yeah, my door's going to be closed and I'm going to be in a training. And on Wednesday nights, I'm going to be in a training. And, I have to do the things to build the business. But when nothing's happening from it and you're in your dry season, it can feel like you're letting your mate down. It can feel like you're letting your kids down. Because when you start this, you should have a conversation with your kids about what you're doing. Mommy's always on her phone. Like, mommy will play with me. Mommy's always on her phone. So when nothing's happening for our business, it can feel like we're letting our kids down. But like, even more so, it can feel like we're letting ourselves down. Because we put our hearts in this and we put our souls in this. And for a lot of us, this is our plan A. Like, we don't have a plan B. This is our plan A. This is our passion, being able to help other people on the level that we're able to help other people in this business. Holy crap. So it can really feel like we're letting ourselves down. And while most of these SEALs in the training would ring the bell, if you don't know what that means, when you are a Navy SEAL in training, they have a bell. If you go up to it and you ring it 3 times, that means you quit. And that's something you have to carry with you for the rest of your life. So I've put 2.5 years in this business. I'm not ringing that bell. Like, maybe 6 months in, oh, it's not working. Okay, bye, see ya, thank you. I'm going to keep thriving though, because I feel good. But, I probably would have done that 6 months in, but not 2.5 years in. But a lot of SEALs will ring the bell, and those are SEALs in training that haven't even gone through the circus. You go through the circus and it's that added pain, it's that added coldness, it's that added ridicule and all of the things. And they quit because of the pain and the cold and the work and the constant yelling from instructions, and it's just too much for them. But those who stayed and they did the final swim, which was essential for passing SEAL training back then, they ended up being the first team to reach the beach after a 4+ hour 5-mile swim. And this was the team that did the circus every day after the events, because they kept failing the events and they had to put in the extra 2 hours, and they did the final swim. And they looked behind them when the instructor said, "You let your teams down again." And then the instructor looked at them and said, "Recover." And the guys was like, "What?" And they looked around, and all of the other teams that they saw getting to eat chow and go to sleep and take a shower, were nowhere in sight. They were the first ones to reach the beach. They say that your failures make you stronger. I like to look at it like this, because to me, my failures didn't make me stronger. My failures didn't make me stronger. But picking myself up every single day and putting in those 2 hours when all I wanted to do was ring the bell, that's what made me stronger. God will provide everything that you need when you need it. If it's not something you can touch, He will provide you strength. He will provide you comfort. He will provide you healing and peace, wisdom, and light. And just like all those teams who had to work those 2 extra hours to fulfill their purpose, the calling that God put on their life, we are a team. And the values, the traditions that we create right here with just us, the learning from each other, the encouragement that we provide, that is the foundation that I want my teams built on. I want women and men who will go the distance and refuse to ring that bell when it gets hard, who aren't afraid to put in those extra 2 hours, knowing that they're going to be exhausted the next day, but knowing it will make them stronger and faster and more confident, not just in what they're doing, but in themselves. So you can keep watching those other teams and those other leaders eat and shower and sleep, or you can be that, and you can be that person who's going to ring the bell, or you can be the leader whose team makes it to the beach first, because all those extra 2 hours made you stronger while they were sleeping. But to be that leader, you can't be afraid of the circus. And I had a thought and I lost it. But you have to keep showing up for yourself. Sacrifice, that's what it was. When we first start doing what it is that we do here, yes, the initial goal is for it to be able to create more time freedoms, to spend more time with those who matter most. That's the whole point of this, right? To spend more time doing what matters most to us, spending time with who matters most to us. That's the whole point of this, right? To work and live life on our terms, right? But when we first start something like this, when you're building that foundation, you have to put in that time. You have to make sacrifices. And time is one of those sacrifices you have to make. Don't forget to make time for what matters most. But it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of sweat and those extra 2 hours and all the pain and having sand kicked in your face and the cycle of never-ending failure coming through. But you know what? I don't know who said this. I don't know if it was a service. My head's been all over the place, but I think it was something Harriet shared. It was somebody shared a reel, Kristen Boss, in my Instagram, I think it was, where you're not there yet, but you're not where you were. You're kind of in that middle of being a butterfly. That's what it was. Told y'all, words are hard right now. I got a lot going on. It'll be worth it. It will be worth it. As much as I look up to a lot of our upper line, like Lindsay, like Em, like Katie, I don't want to be like them because I'm not them. But I still want that freedom. And they've shown us how we can create it. We just have to put in those extra 2 hours. We have to put in those extra 2 hours every single day and wake up tired the next day and do it again and wake up tired the next day. Amber, you're fired. Wake up tired the next day and do it again and show up and do it again because it's going to pay off. I have a friend in my friends list on Facebook, and she didn't sign with me, but she's thriving, and she signed with someone, and she's a promoter now. And I couldn't have been more excited for her, honestly, because she's always been watching me, but I don't know who else is in her friends list. So, you know what I mean? So I'm not mad that she didn't sign with me. I'm excited that she's making changes for her life, and she's building something for her family, and she knows what it's going to take. And she posted the other day, yeah, when I first started, I didn't handle it well either, but you know, we're still friends. We're still friends. Like, I'm still friends with her. She posted the other day about earning her free credits for the second, and I was like, you go, girl. I was like, you know, because how awesome is that? We're thriving together, whether they sign with you or not, we're thriving together. So I'm gonna stay Christian. So it doesn't matter if someone's been watching you, but maybe they've known somebody else longer, or maybe they're better friends with them, maybe they're closer with them, whatever the situation is, they sign with them, right? They're still thriving. And maybe you can share something that that's not being shared with them, right? Maybe your story helps them somehow to keep going and to not give up. Yes, we have to lead ourselves before we can lead others. And that stings sometimes. It does sting. I'm not gonna say it doesn't sting, but I'm so happy for her, because she's been through so much, and she's picked herself up, and she's doing this. She's doing another MLM too, but she's doing this. And I see her post pictures with a DFT on, and I'm just like, that's my girl. Like, she chose to live better for a reason, you know? And your vibe will attract your tribe. And we're friends, but maybe we're not meant to be on the same team. And that's okay, because we can still talk to each other, and you know, we can still try new products and share them with each other even. And it's nice to have people in your friends list that thrive with you and know what you're talking about, because I will have people ask me all the time, what's Thrive? And I'm like, how do you not know about Thrive? Like, girl, have a seat. But it's not going to happen at all if you don't put in those extra 2 hours. And I highly recommend this book. I would let you borrow my copy, but there's a lot of highlighting in it. So, but if you want to, that's fine. I'll mail it to you. And you can just sign it and send it back, and I'll have your autograph, and when you're rich and famous, I'll sell it on eBay. It's fine. But you have to put in those extra 2 hours. You got to keep doing the hard stuff. You got to keep doing the hard stuff, because building your house isn't easy. Yes, I heard that, Harriet. My husband's gonna kill me. You got to keep doing the hard stuff, because just like building your house, you got to build the foundation first. And if you try to rush through the foundation, guess what's going to happen to your house? The first storm comes through. That's like my favorite analogy, and I stick with it, and I keep going strong because of it. But you got to keep showing up for your business, for yourself, and just for what this can do for you and your family, but also what this business can do for others, because you stuck with it.
All right. I love all that. And yes, I'm going to have a cat tree in my office one day. You just wait. You know, I heard on a podcast I was listening to the other day, I feel like we've kind of all been on the same vibe lately, as far as like just kind of, I don't know, in our emotions and down in the dumps a little bit. And I was listening to this podcast, and you know how I've mentioned before, like Steve Harvey said, like the reason why you ain't there yet is because you ain't there yet. And like that hit me, like when he said that. But the way that this girl put it in the podcast I listened to the other day, she said, you do not have whatever it is that you've been reaching for. The reason why you don't have it yet is because you're not as good as you could be yet. And sometimes it just takes that moment to realize like there are things in our business, there are things even like behind the scenes with the way that we manage certain things, the way that we show up in certain ways. There are things that we still got to grow through. Like there are things that we still could be doing better. But I love you guys. Karen, thank you so much for leading us tonight. Unless anybody else has anything else I want to say, I'm just gonna end this out tonight. Y'all go get some rest. I know we're all tired and it's only Monday, but I love you guys. Good night.